Here to respond to the allegations is Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker. Good morning to you, Governor.
Good morning. Good to be with you, Steve. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, so over the last couple of years, there's been some legal action out in Wisconsin, and some of the documents were unsealed yesterday. We got to point out you were never charged with anything, but at one point they alleged that you had a central role in a criminal fundraising scheme. Okay, tell us what you did.
Well, don't just take my word for it. Look at the facts. The facts are pretty clear. You've had not one but two judges, a state judge and a federal judge. A state judge, a well-respected Court of Appeals judge, and a federal judge more recently have both looked at this argument. And in the past, not just recently, remember, this is not new news. It's just newly released yesterday because documents were open, but no charges, case over. Both judges said they didn't buy the argument. They didn't think that anything was done that was illegal, and so they've gone forward and not only said we don't buy it, they actually shut the case down, both at the state and at the federal level. So many of the national media, and even some here in Wisconsin, are looking at the state backwards. This is a case that's been resolved, that not one but two judges have said is over, and we're just learning about it because it became open in a document yesterday, but there is no argument there.
And in fact, to that point, Governor, there's an item in the New York Daily News today that says GOP star named in money scandal. These are documents that, for a case that does not exist anymore, it's not going anywhere, and they're just opening it up. It looks like they're just trying to trash you.
Well, I think there's no doubt. This is a prime example of what happens when you take on the big government special interest. They're looking for ways to come at us. They'll continue to do it. They did it, 2 years ago in the recall election. They're going to do it again now. We got another tough election this fall, and so they're going to come at it with just about everything out there. And the media, at least many in the media, are willing accomplices to this. But the facts of the case are pretty clear. They're not something that I or any of our Republican allies are talking about. They're two objective judges. Third parties removed from the executive and legislative branch. Both of them have looked at this information. Both have said there's not a case here, and in fact have taken it so far as to tell the prosecutors to stop their case going forward.
So the show's over, but they're trying to trash it. Are they trying to do to you what they did to Chris in New Jersey?
Oh, again, I think there's no doubt. This is one of those where the media jumps on this. Some of the left spin this. You get our detractors out there trying to claim there's something more than there is. And they're trying to claim an order here. Again, and I understand some people, if they haven't been following us, in our state, John Does are very unusual. They're kept, or at least supposedly kept confidential. This has already been done. And so if you're just reading this for the first time, you might think there's something there without knowing that the court's already looked at this. A state judge took care of this some time ago, and a federal judge more recently heard the same information in both cases. They said there's just not an argument there. And so what you see is the left and others up there trying to stir things up.
And they came after you, you say, because of the action out in Wisconsin where famously, you tried to change the way the unions work in Wisconsin.
That's right. We tried to take the government away from the big government special interest and put it firmly in the hands of the hardworking taxpayers, both at the state level and the local governments. It's why with something like this, we're going to have to rely on a lot of grassroots support, people from across America who helped me out in the recall, people went to things like scottwalker.com and signed up to help us out, because we're going to have to counter this sort of attack all over again.
All right. Scott Walker answering the charges. Not that there are any charges, just people trying to trash him. Joining us live today from Madison. Governor, thank you.
Thanks. Have a great weekend. Good to be with you.
You as well.